Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to Enchanted Soul Tarot. Today, we are digging into a question that many of us don't really want to face, we don't want to acknowledge, but we need to ask, okay? And I include myself as part of this as well. What is that question? It's, am I my own worst enemy? Five of Swords energy. My guides were pushing me, they kind of like urging me towards this topic because so many of us suffer from this. So many of us sabotage ourselves. And this isn't about blame, it's about awareness. And how sometimes the things holding us back are right inside of us. So we're going to pull back this veil today gently but honestly and take a look together and come to a solution how to stop this self-sabotaging behavior. And then at the end I will throw a couple cards for a message for everybody. So, some signs that you may be your own worst enemy. Okay, let's start with the truth. Sometimes the biggest obstacles we face aren't the people around us or the circumstances that we may find ourselves in. It's the stories that we tell ourselves. And when these stories are rooted in fear, doubt, or past pain, they become self-sabotaging. So, how do you know if you're standing in your own way? Well, let's see. Maybe you've had some really big dreams, but you keep putting them off until everything is perfect. Perfectionism, okay? Or you procrastinate, not because you're lazy, but because deep down, you're afraid of failure, or maybe even succeeding. So, we start telling ourselves these stories that we're not good enough. I need more education. I don't know enough. What if I trip and fall? Well, that's simple. You trip and fall. You get yourself back up on that horse, honey. But we get into this mindset that we already see ourselves failing. And there's also that maybe you keep attracting the same kind of relationships, jobs, or drama that leave you feeling small, unseen, unimportant. You question, what difference am I really making in this world? Am I really important? Do people value my input, my energy? You catch yourself thinking things like, I said, I'm not good enough. What if I mess it up? They'll see that I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not qualified. There's a self-esteem issue here at play as well. These are all some of these self-sabotaging energies. That voice, that's not truth, okay? It's not truth. That is fear talking. And fear loves to wear a disguise. Disguises such as perfectionism, comparison, people-pleasing, playing it safe. But underneath, it's all the same energy. I don't believe I'm worthy. So, where does this all come from? We don't just wake up one morning and decide to doubt ourselves, to doubt everything, to doubt our very existence. These patterns come from somewhere, though, okay? Maybe you grew up hearing that you had to learn love by achieving. Maybe somebody told you your dreams were unrealistic, or you were, or that you were too much, or your dreams are too much, that you need to get your head out of the clouds. Okay? I've heard that, not so much in my childhood, but I personally have heard that in a previous relationship. Oh, that's just a pipe dream, Jen. Get your head out of the clouds. That's just a pipe dream. And it kind of stunted my own personal growth. And you'd be surprised, your next door neighbor who may seem to have it all, money, the house, the cars, but I'm telling you, even they went through such a phase. Most humanity, most people have gone there, been there, done that. And it's also possible that you may have watched people around you kind of shrink themselves, so you learn to do the same thing as well. That inner child territory, it's also known as the shadow work territory. The part of you that learned to survive by staying small, staying quiet, playing it safe. And it's okay to honor that. That version of you did the best they could with what they had. But now, you know more. You feel that pull to break that cycle. Now, in the tarot, this is like tapping into that Eight of Swords, where it's your mind keeping you stuck or chained to old habits, the Devil card. Not because you want to be, but because it's what's familiar. But even these cards whisper the truth. The way out is already within you. And you got to stop telling yourself you're not worthy. Get out of that lack mentality. Change is possible. You can make that wheel spin in a different direction. You can make that wheel spin forward. You could jumpstart that engine and get those wheels moving. Awareness is power. The moment that you realize that you might be the one holding yourself back, that's not shameful, that's powerful. Because if that call is coming from inside that house, then so is the courage to answer it. And listen, this is not about blaming yourself. This is not about pointing the finger. It's about cleansing yourself. Saying, okay, maybe I've been standing in my own way, but now I see it. I get to choose differently. And this is where self-love needs accountability. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. But it also is where the real shift actually begins. And you're sitting there thinking right now, and if you could talk to me one-on-one, you'd be saying, Jen, okay, now I'm recognizing patterns, I'm seeing things, I'm getting in my own way, I'm sabotaging myself, but how do I stop it? How do I stop being my own worst enemy? So we're here asking, how do we stop fighting ourselves? You don't need to overhaul your whole entire life overnight. You need to start small. Start with the awareness. Start asking questions like, Is this thought, this reaction, this choice, is it helping me or is it hurting me? Then watch the patterns. Listen to that inner critic. Notice the moments that you shrink or you self-sabotage. Don't judge it, just name it. Okay, this is a trigger. This is a time where these behaviors start kicking in. Then gently start to rewire your brain. Replace I can't with I'm learning to. Replace what if I fail with what if I grow in ways I've never imagined. Speak to yourself like someone you love, especially when you're struggling. This is the energy of the Strength card. It's a card of gentle resilience. It's the Temperance card that is balance and healing and patience with yourself. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up with intention. You just need to keep on remembering your value and stepping into your own personal power. Okay, so you've made it this far. And you're recognizing those patterns. You're pointing them out. You're starting to be a little bit more gentle with yourself. You're starting to build up your confidence. Then all of a sudden, life throws you a curveball. What next? And, a job falls through, a relationship ends, someone betrays your trust, things go sideways real fast, and you're left spinning. It's so easy in these moments to fall right back into the old programming, that old negative thinking, getting yourself caught right back in that devil energy. And then you start saying things to yourself. I knew this wouldn't work. I should have seen this coming. Or maybe I'm just not meant for more. Self-sabotaging thoughts, energy. So what do you do in this instance? Number one, you recognize it right away. When you start getting these thoughts, you have to take a step back and breathe and say, hold on a minute. I recognize this. When life hits hard, don't turn against yourself. Turn toward yourself. Show yourself some grace. Feel the feelings, yes. We're human. This is life. Things are going to burn. Things are going to sting. But don't attach them to your identity. Don't make them part of you. You can feel them. You can work through them. Because in a way this is going to sound contradictory, but it's good because you experience it, you recognize it, you learn from it, you heal from it. You don't let it keep you down. You don't let it become part of your identity, saying, well, this is just my life. This is just the way things go. Because you have the power to change it. And so, through all this, instead, I want you to ask yourself, when life throws these curveballs at you, what truth is being revealed here? No matter how uncomfortable it may be, is this rejection actually a redirection? Did you ever think of that? I have. I'll give an example again from my life. Relationship-wise, I was in a long-term relationship for 12 years. Got replaced by an ex of his, right? Some of you close to me know this story. For a long time, I put blame on myself. I would ask myself, why? What could I have done differently? Should I have fought harder for him against her and won? No, his rejection of me, by him choosing her instead, was actually God, the universe, giving me a redirection in a way down a road that I was meant to travel on. I wasn't meant to travel on down the road with him. Remember when I said, back at the beginning of this video, about being told when I was in a relationship, not in childhood, in a relationship, Jen, that's a pipe dream. Get your head out of the clouds. That was from him. He held me back. So the universe is saying, we've got the perfect scenario over here. Here she is. We're going to move her into position to be in between Jen and him, and then cause this disruption. It's going to hurt. It's going to be uncomfortable. But my spiritual team is saying, but we need to redirect you in the right direction where you need to go, your life calling that you have been held back from. And the universe brought along to me the tower and said, nope, not anymore. That's just an example from my life. A moment where life threw me a curveball, but that curveball put me on the right path. That rejection was actually a redirection. I know it's a long explanation, but that is an example from my life. Comment below what rejection was really a redirection for you in life. What did you possibly avoid? What was the universe protecting you from by causing that disruption, that rejection, and being actually a redirection? The other question to ask yourself, what version of me is being called towards through all this? That is a loaded question right there. Again, that brings about a lot of soul searching. Where am I meant to go? What are my true goals? What is my calling? There's some shadow work there. There's some meditation that needs to be done. And your spiritual team, your guides, your angels, God, the universe, will come in and guide you in the proper direction. So as I already was talking about this tower, these moments of disruption, these curveballs, these are those tower moments in life. And something about the tower I want you to remember. The tower doesn't happen to solid foundations. If a tower happens, there was a crack in that foundation somewhere. There was something underneath in the foundation that was not stable. And that tower was going to crumble, crash eventually. In my case, if it wasn't her, it would have been something else, maybe even someone else. But that relationship I was in was going to crash eventually anyhow. After that sudden jarring of the tower, which was necessary, comes the star of hope, a deeper alignment with your truth. It brings about healing. And in the tarot deck, it does immediately follow that tower. The tower is number 16, and the star is number 17. But even in that chaos, you're not powerless. You get to choose how you rise up from this. You, me, we get to choose how we rise up. We get to choose to rise up to begin with. We get to choose not to allow these curveballs to hit us in the head and knock us out. We can't totally avoid that curveball. Maybe it doesn't hit us in the head and knock us out, but maybe it hits us in the hip or in the arm, getting our attention. Ow, that hurt. But the bruise is going to go away. That bruise is going to heal. And we don't have to let it keep us down. Maybe it knocks us down for a second on the ground. Ow, that hurt. Especially if it hits you in the knee or the hip or in the stomach, you know. But the point is, you get to rise up. You get to heal from it. And become aware of when these things happen. Not to fall back into that devil and Eight of Swords energy. Now, from here, what I want to do is do some card pulls just for the collective, for a special message from Spirit. So, I'm only going to pull a couple cards. This is for some guidance for all of us out there. Think of this as Spirit's message to you right now, wherever you are in your journey of healing, growing, and getting out of your own way. So, you know, I'm shuffling. You guys know I shuffle. I don't fake it. Okay. Some people, they do fake it. So, what energy is available to support us right now? We have the King of Pentacles. That is a beautiful energy. The King of Pentacles is about being a leader, being wise, being practical. This is knowing value, having value, somebody of importance. This is about leading your life as you see fit in your physical world. This is you being your own boss. Okay. And what truth needs to be remembered? The Queen of Swords. There's no more truth than the Queen of Swords, really. She holds the Ace of Swords. She holds the sword of truth. You need to remember to see things clearly and be honest with yourself. You need to remember that the self-sabotaging is your own perception. Maybe not of somebody else, but your own. Your own perception, seeing things clearly, is very important to you breaking these patterns of the devil and the Eight of Swords. Lastly, what inspiration can guide us forward? And we do have the Nine of Swords. So all in all, the Nine of Swords is about not sweating it, not worrying about the small things. And I'm also hearing to ask yourself, I'm worrying about the situation. I'm worrying about what they think. How is that helping? Is me worrying about it changing anything? The answer is no. I know. We're human. I worry. You worry. Your Aunt Jane worries. Okay? Understand that through this power of awareness, you are waking up from this nightmare. This is becoming very much aware of your surroundings. Analyzing. Queen of Swords is looking at this Nine of Swords and saying, what are you worrying about? Worrying is not solving anything. You got to be a critical thinker. You got to think and work your way through this. And be honest with yourself. Not giving yourself that negative self-talk. And appreciating what you have. If you only have $10 in your bank account, thank the universe for that $10. To me, though, there is growth here. There is wealth here. There is abundance here. Just waiting. And this is saying that through our worries, our negative talk, our negative thoughts, that is what has been holding us back all this time. And remember, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're just becoming. And even on days that you feel like you your own worst enemy, you can still be your own best healer as well. So if this message landed for you, if you resonated with this, I love to hear about it in the comments. What are you ready to change? What are you ready to shift in your life? What old story are you done living in right now? Comment below. If no one's told you lately, you're doing better than what you think. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to begin again. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're 27 or 72 or 99. I don't care. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to start all over again. And you're allowed to take up space as your full, brilliant, evolving self. And I want to thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm sending you a lot of love, compassion, clarity, courage. I thank you for tuning in. And I certainly hope this resonated and this helps you in some way. You know, Spirit pressed this topic on me and said somebody needs this message. You've got to get this message out. So I kind of worked on it all morning with also recording a short. And if you know somebody in this situation, somebody who is down, somebody who is always negative about things in their life, send them this video. The more you share it, the more people that this message will reach. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm not just going to do tarot readings on this channel. I'm going to talk about things that matter, things to try to uplift us, things to try to point us in the right direction. Whatever topic Spirit decides to put on me, that's what I'm going to do. And until next time, I love you all. Stay positive and get that wheel turning.